to like cook. They would use their shields.
I said, could you just proceed to that window, please?
Okay.
Sorry.
Hi, can I have a 2-piece hot and spicy?
Hello and welcome back to my noisy house. I'm in my dad's closet right now because there's some construction work happening somewhere around in the neighborhood. Let's talk about God.
Medium.
Your drink, Coke?
Coke, no sugar, no ice.
Anything else?
1 packet sweet and sour sauce.
People have all sorts of different proofs and reasons for believing in God. You've got Pascal's wager, you've got personal experience, and that's all good and well, except that all those reasonings are trash. Let's take Pascal's wager, for example. The simplest one, almost everyone knows it. It goes something like this. It's better to believe in a God, because if God does exist, there's a limited gain in life, but a huge penalty in death. It sounds like logical on the surface, but there's a huge problem. It can be used to support anything, like any bullshit from any sort of religion out there. Any god, any religion, any sort of bullshit can be supported by that. I mean, you never know. There could be a pony in the sky that's skewering everyone who doesn't eat 3 marshmallows like 3 times a day. You never know. That's a problem.
At least in terms of my consumption of pizza, tomato pizza sauce and things forever. And then like I recently had.
Let's look at another one. The ontological argument. Basically, it goes something like this. The greatest possible thing has to exist somewhere, and the greatest possible thing has to be God, since God is the greatest possible thing. It takes a bit for your head to sort of wrap around it, but basically once you do, it doesn't really make any sense. I mean, the first clause in this argument is the conclusion. It's like saying that this sentence is true because it is true. It doesn't really prove anything. It's not really useful.
That kind of thing. It's also pizza. The tomato sauce is kind of 90% pizza.
The cosmological argument. Everything in existence has a cause, therefore existence has a cause. That argument doesn't really prove anything.
You got ranch on the side, but dip it. Oh yeah, you dip it in a ranch-based pizza into ranch sauce. It's the most American experience I've ever had.
This argument is logical to some people, but it doesn't directly support the notion of a god because it doesn't really define the nature of this cause, and it creates the problem of a first cause. If everything in existence has a cause, what is the first cause?
And she was the author of the book Pizza, A Global History, and she notes in there that pizza at this point was kind of like a weekday food is what she calls it.
The moral argument. Without God, there is no morality, so God has to exist. But the argument doesn't really prove that morality and good behavior has to be tied to a higher being, and those traits can be explained away by common sense or better group survivability.
Why don't we just take the corpses of things and wait till it congeals into this liquid mass and then we'll eat that? Like, that's basically what it is. It's delicious out there.
Plus, I don't personally like it because it can be used by other less savory religions to prop up and justify their selfish and/or delusional actions.
They basically had that put in barrels and then wait until it years. It was nice. Like, yeah.
And then we got personal experience. This is one of the strongest, if not the strongest arguments out there. Claiming that God exists due to personal events in one's life is very, very powerful. I mean, people tend to trust their own experiences and the experiences of people close to them. But humans can be very unreliable. I mean, you got hallucinations, delusions, drugs.
And also, Esposito himself was then dubbed the father of modern pizza.
Plus, people don't really think properly when they're desperate or disoriented.
The pizza margarita had actually been around long before then. So if we go all the way back to 1849, there's, again, this...
Plus, testimonies from different people can be inconsistent and contradictory. People are just too unreliable.
How it got its name, and this again was like a half century before. It was this exact same ingredients and everything on there. But if it had been around, maybe the queen really did go and order this pizza from Esposito.
So all this leaves me with a huge dilemma. I want this to be better than all the religions out there, and one of the steps along that path is finding some sort of justification for God that has to be better than all the ones that all the other religions have.
Well, it's actually Esposito's descendants actually repeat this, and you can actually go, what we're going to talk about here is there is a letter in the place Pizzeria Brandy, which is still around today.
And I have to admit, this had me stumped for a while. But one day, whilst I was having lunch, it hit me. The answer was sitting there right on my lap, just on my lap, wrapped in paper. McDonald's hot and spicy fried chicken. Okay, so I've got the goods. Here's the chicken. Here's the chicken. But I'm not going to start with that. I'm going to start with the fries. This has been sitting here for a while. I had to spend some time setting up the camera, so it's not as high as it should be, but it's... And here's some sweet and sour sauce. Lick it off the lid. So, yeah, we're gonna get to the chicken soon, but first, here is the Coke. It still tastes like liquid diabetes, and it's got a bunch of caffeine in it, so yeah, everything's the same. So yeah, I'm done. So yeah, I should probably stop. Yeah, no, I know I should probably stop stalling. It's Anyways, so yeah, fine. I'm gonna bring up. Here's the chicken. Wait. So here's okay. I'm joking. Here's the chicken. Look at that. Look at that. Does it focus? Does it focus? There we go. There's a fly in here. It's really annoying me. There's like one fly that got in when I started driving. Here's the drumstick. Look at the drumstick. Oh, focus. Look at that. Look at the drumstick right there. Ooh, look at it. If this doesn't convince you that God exists, I don't know what will. You're like, look at this. The chicken, all of the meat has been spiced somehow. All of it. It doesn't taste too chickeny. It's not too spicy. I know it's called hot and spicy, but it's not actually that spicy. I don't actually like chili. It's really The meat is soft. It's not too soft. It's still fibery, but it's soft at the same time. It's moist, almost smoky-ish. It's not greasy like, KFC's original chicken, the one I get in New Zealand when I'm there studying. That shit is greasy. This is not greasy at all. It is nice, clean. Dip in some sweet and sour. And crust, the crumb. I don't think they use breadcrumbs for this. It's so, like, look at it. It's not breadcrumbs here. It's so crispy. The skin is, but the meat is so moist. I have no idea how they do it. Like the meat is so moist and juicy. Like, dude, we used to have KFC. We used to have KFC in Fiji back when I was small, like back in 2006. It's a nice piece of cartilage meat. Evenly cooked. It is so evenly cooked and white. Beautiful white meat. As I was saying, we had KFC in Fiji like back in like 2006 and so, I remember, when I was small. Then McDonald's launched its hot and spicy chicken. It drove KFC out of business. Like, we had KFC in Fiji. It couldn't compete with this. Like, the locals just preferred this so much more. It's not even spicy. Like, it's called hot and spicy, and I know there's lots of Indians here, so in this country, so you're just adding a bit of spice. No, it's not spicy. It's just really, really tasty. This is the chicken. Here, look at this. Look at this. This is the chicken that drove KFC out of business. Like, they made us some bullshit about how biosecurity was restricting some of the ingredients, and they just packed up and left. It's like the right balance between soft and tender and nice and meaty and chewy. Like, you can chew on this, but it doesn't feel too tough. Like, it looks fibrous, but it just falls. But it's so good. And that's the thing. That's the thing. This chicken is so good that there is no way, like, this cannot be made by mortals. This has to be made by a higher deity. Some sort of god has to make this. Like, there's no way you can make a chicken this good. Oh, here's the best part. Here's the best part. Here's the neck. Take it out. There's this little bone type thing here. I'm not sure where you can see it. There's a little bone type thing here. The meat around here is exceptionally juicy. This chicken is like walking into... This chicken is it's like finding a cube that floats. Or fire that heals people. I mean, it's just something so logic defying that the only explanation you can have for this is God. God must have somehow been involved in creating this. I mean, there's no way this could have happened naturally or through human like, there's absolutely no way this piece of chicken could have existed without God. It just tastes way too good. It's like one of those things when you pick it up and you eat it. It's like, holy shit, how did this happen? And you like just can't explain. It has to be God. There's no other way that this chicken could have existed. Like, you can't make chicken like this through any normal process. So it has to be something supernatural. It has to be something divine. God has to exist in order for this chicken to exist. And since this chicken exists, God has to exist. Now, if you don't believe me, come down here to Fiji. You know, McDonald's is kind of regional. So this type of stuff is only, I think, available in Fiji. Like this particular type of chicken. So if you don't believe me, so if you don't believe my claim that this chicken proves that God exists, come down here to Fiji, fly down here, go to a local McDonald's, order it, try it, you will be convinced. There is no way this could exist without God. God has to be real. Why else would I be holding this piece of chicken? This is not sponsored, by the way. This is not always sponsored. I just hope they don't increase the price of this stuff. This stuff is already kind of pricey as it is. I mean, if your piece of chicken is kind of dry and a bit tough, that's just a bad batch. It happens sometimes. I don't know, maybe vegans sneak into the McDonald's place and they try ruining the chicken, and then there's like this little plot that goes on. Basically, like, McDonald's has a couple of like ninjas that fight off the vegans, and they kind of restore the chicken back to the normal thing. It's like this whole episodic thing. It's weird. Rest assured, God was not involved in that. It was just mortals doing stupid things. Just go back and try it again. Also, if you come in late at night like Sunday, midnight Sunday, you know, the people who are working that shift aren't exactly the most competent, which is why they're working the midnight Sunday shift. Ooh, I probably shouldn't say that, but yeah. If you get a bad batch, just try again, trust me. Once you've tasted, if you've tasted this chicken, like real chicken, not a bad batch, if you've tasted this chicken, you will know. It is soft, it is crunchy, like look, it is cooled down now. I've been talking for so long, it is cooled down. Extremely cold. Like look at this. Look at this. Like it feels greasy. It feels nice and greasy, but you squeeze it and none of the oil comes out. Like you can see it on the surface, it coats your fingers, but it doesn't drip out. Like it's just like the grease sticks to it. It's so weird. Like look, this is completely cold. This is completely cold now because I've been talking for way too long. Crispy. Listen to this. It's crispy. It's still crispy. Like this is not breadcrumbs. This is some sort of weird, what is it, skin? Okay, sorry. My feet cut out and I dropped all my fries on the floor. I am so sad. Clearly the vegans are trying to curse me, trying to stop me from revealing the truth. The truth that McDonald's hot and spicy chicken is the ultimate proof of God. They don't want this to get out. They're trying to convince you that chicken does not prove God. Do not listen to them. Do not listen to them. This is the ultimate proof of God. Look at it. Look at this. This is God. Look at it. Yes. Do not listen to the vegans. This is proof that God exists. Taste it. You will be convinced. You know what? I think dropping these fries onto the floor of the car actually adds a little bit of taste to it. It's like this weird, you know, it adds this hint of what the hell am I eating to it. It's interesting. No. It adds like this natural earthy flavor to it. Yes. Certainly quite interesting. Speaking of driving KFC out of business, I have not tasted chicken that's any better than this. KFC's own hot and spicy chicken, which they've introduced in New Zealand, that comes remarkably close. It's just a bit too spicy. I mean, the spice in here is not added to make it spicy. It's added to make it more tasty. Like it's better than KFC's hot and spicy is better than their regular chicken. It's not as greasy. It's kind of crispy and all that. It's only available for like a month or so during winter, which is kind of stupid. I mean, like if they actually sold, if KFC actually sold their hot and spicy chicken, I would eat more KFC. Wicked Wings are also good, but like this beats them all hands down. Like KFC's hot and spicy comes close, but nothing can beat this. Also, all the local offerings, trash. Wishbone has a weird flavor. Chicken is a bit too dry. Chicken Express does hold like a small place in my heart because back when I was a child, I would go to this sugarcane farm that my grandparents owned in Lambasa, and in Lambasa, Chicken Express was the only thing around, like the only real fast food chicken joint around. So, you know, I would get burgers and I would get wraps from there sometimes when they went to town. So yeah, Chicken Express, I get the burgers. I don't get the wraps anymore. Chicken is kind of, you know, it's run-of-the-mill chicken. It's not something you'll eat and go, wow, what the hell is this? Oh my God, God exists. There's no way this chicken... No, it's not that. It's just regular chicken. And I'm eating the bones, by the way. I mean, I'm actually eating all the bones. Most of the smaller bones, I'm just crunching it up and eating it. A couple more floor flavored fries. I think there's another chicken joint in Harbour Centre. I think my dad's manages kids like that chicken more. I have absolutely no idea what's wrong with them. I think they get that one more because it's cheaper than this. Yeah, well. Price is quality. Drumsticks and wings are the best part. Like, oh my god, that is flavorful. The meat itself is so flavorful. It's so weird. Also, when you get this meal, if you should get this meal, grab the sweet and sour sauce with it. It's really good, especially with the fries. Dip your chicken in it, whatnot. It's great. Also, I think Lunchbox Chicken. This is Lunchbox Chicken place that also started up. I tried some of their chicken from there. It's horrible. It's garbage. I have no idea why people like that one so much. It's a bland, run-of-the-mill chicken. The problem with people here is that they don't eat enough of this. Maybe if they eat enough of this type of chicken, maybe if they eat more of this chicken, they'll get some standards. Like, how the hell, why do people think that Lunchbox Chicken is actually good? Why do they think this is so expensive? This is not Nando's. Like, holy shit. The cartilage on this is so soft. You can literally rip it apart. But it's still crunchy. It's still crunchy. So yeah, hold on. Let me just get some more chicken and then we'll move on to the next section of this video. Oh yeah, as I was saying, Lunchbox Chicken is also trash. Screw you, Gilbert. Sharon only dated you because you had money. So I've made my claim, and I've demonstrated my claim. And on the surface, everything seems fine. But I know what most professional non-believers would say when presented with the hot and spicy chicken argument. They would point out that it hasn't been scientifically tested yet. And so, in a similar way to personal experience, it could be too unreliable and should be dismissed. So to satiate those types of more skeptical people, I have devised a simple scientific study, which I'm going to conduct now, to test and verify my claims. Okay, here's the experimental setup. We've got 2 dog bowls. One of them is labeled God. The other one is labeled not God. Into the God bowl, I am going to add this. Hold on a minute. Into the God bowl, I'm going to add a few pieces of this chicken. And into the not God bowl, I'm going to add this vegan butt toy stuff I found lying around. And the dog shall pick whichever bowl best aligns with their beliefs. There are 2 dogs here, so the sample set is technically multiple participants. So let's just quickly conduct. Okay, so let's conduct the experiment. Well, I think that's a conclusive result right there. The dogs seem to be thoroughly convinced that God is real, as you can see by the way they picked the God bowl. Look, they're checking out the not God. They're checking out the not God option, and they're rejecting it. They're thoroughly convinced that God exists now because of McDonald's hot and spicy chicken. I've got a 3rd dog here. I want to try it out on them. Okay, so I've took the not God label and wrapped it around the vegan butt toy, and I've taken the God label and I've wrapped it around a piece of chicken, and that dog down there, Pew, he's gonna pick whichever meal aligns with his beliefs. Okay, well that didn't go according to plan. Hey Pew, the piece of chicken down there represents belief in God. Okay, he's just interested in the piece of paper now. Up. He's seeing it. Yes, that's God. That's God. Are you convinced? Are you convinced? Oh, yes, he's taking it. He's taking it. Yes, see? He's convinced. He's convinced. See, look at him. That's the face of a convinced person. Look at him. He is convinced. Look at that. Look. Pure conviction in his eyes right there. Okay, well, this has been a successful test. Let's go crunch the data. Okay, so here are the results of our study. Disclaimer, this study has only been conducted on animals. We've got a pie chart that's rendered in 3D for some reason. We've got a normal bar graph, and we've got a stacked bar graph. On the pie chart, all the white areas show what proportion of our test sample was convinced, and the black portions show which part of the sample were unconvinced. And as you can clearly see from the results, everybody who was presented with the hot and spicy chicken argument was thoroughly convinced that God exists. Same thing can be seen if you look at the bar graph. As you can see, the amount of unconvinced people that we found in our study is 0, whereas the amount of convinced people is almost the entire sample set. Same thing is shown on this stacked bar graph. The y-axis shows the amount of studies we conducted. The x-axis shows how many participants there are. The amount of white on the bar graph shows how much of the participants, how many of the participants were convinced, and the black areas show how many were unconvinced. As you can clearly see, out of every single study we've conducted on this, all the participants were thoroughly convinced that God exists. So as you can see, the McDonald's hot and spicy chicken argument for God is clearly the most effective argument we have out there, and it's the ultimate proof that God exists. Jazar bless McDonald's hot and spicy fried chicken. Also, all these test results have been verified, as you can see by this green tick mark here. Verified by who? Doesn't really matter. It's just been verified, so you know it's real. So yeah, uni is starting soon. I'll have to start packing and traveling and stuff, so the next video in this weird religious series might take a while. Your patience is very appreciated. Do all the usual YouTube stuff and check out some of my other stuff. I'm still very small, so I need all the views and watch time, and I need all the watch time. I need all the watch time I can get. See you again, hopefully. Please tell me I was still recording.